Welcome to Life Episode 7. Eli's my special co-host today. Eli, we've got Rhiannon coming in today to talk about personal training, bodybuilding and some of the challenges she's had with the Life app.
Oh, cool.
We also have Jacob coming in who's going to give us a bit of a catch up on how he's gone with his quitting journey.
I really want to hear how he's going.
Well and truly into spring. Got to get up early. I know you're struggling to get up in the morning, so I've got some tips with you. How to get breakfast on the run, get you out the door so you can get to school on time. And I've got some great tips on how to get active and get a bit more fitness, so work on those guns of yours because they're looking a bit pathetic.
Not pathetic, they're better than yours.
I've got Henry doing his favourite workout. He nearly broke me during this, so I'm sure there's some great footage in there.
I like to see it, I really want to see him break you. First up, we chat with Rhiannon about her fascinating lifestyle.
So today we're here with Rhiannon from the NCIE in Redfern. Would you like to introduce yourself to the people at home?
Hello, I'm Rhiannon. I'm 21 years old. I'm a personal trainer at the NCIE. I'm in my last year of exercise physiology at the University of New South Wales.
And where are you from?
Originally from the South Coast, so Ulladulla. Yeah, I made the move to Sydney when I was 17, so now I've been here for 4 years.
And what brought you to Sydney?
University, so I got accepted into my course and moved away from home.
So I saw on your Life app when you completed it that
Yeah.
you were a smoker.
Yes.
What was the reason you took up smoking?
So I started smoking when I was young. I had a boyfriend at the time who used to smoke, and then I sort of just picked up the habit from that and then continued to smoke through my life, you know, in stressful situations and things like that. And it was sort of more a social thing, and then I guess I was doing it, you know, not so much socially anymore. So yeah, I gave that up about a year and a half ago now.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So what was it like to quit? What was your trigger to making the decision?
I just, I got to the stage where I tried to train and I still kept smoking at the same time. And then I just realised that it was just having a major effect on my training, and I would get really out of breath, and I've always been quite athletic, so that was sort of scary for me. It was really expensive, and I mean, my family knew that I was smoking as well, and my dad's a heavy smoker, and he was really sort of disappointed that his daughter started smoking and things like that, so.
Okay, so growing up with your father smoking, did that change your views of smoking? Did it normalise it, or?
Well, yeah, I guess you know, that's the way I've grown up. He's always been a smoker, so I sort of, you know, didn't know anything different. So yeah, you know, I knew when my dad got stressed or upset that he'd go outside and have a fag, and then I sort of started to, you know, be in the same sort of mentality, whereas if I would get stressed out, I'd be like, okay, well, I'll go and have a fag as well. I'd go, you know. At the same time, it made me a little bit more stressed out because I knew that doing it wasn't healthy and I wasn't benefiting, you know, my training in any sort of way.
So when you look at quitting, how important was the support structure? So you spoke about your friends were all smoking.
Well, I guess I moved away from those people when I started to make positive life changes. It was hard for me. And then also, like, my family always wanted me to give up. They thought it was silly that I was smoking, you know, to begin with.
Looking at stress and coping strategies, how's that changed for you?
Well, I guess my stress outlet now is going to the gym. And, you know, sort of challenging, putting my energy to something, you know, more useful as opposed to, you know, reaching straight for a packet of smokes. I did go through a phase where I tried to give up and then, you know, got really stressed out, and then I'd go and have a smoke, and then I got like halfway through it and I'm like, this is not helping me at all. I actually felt worse. So that's when I sort of turned it around and started to train more and just made heaps of life changes that were just, you know, they sort of complemented each other. So there was sort of no need for me to be smoking anymore.
I saw on the Life app your answers, you did say that you feel stressed quite a lot still.
It's not like that I feel, it's just my life is just, it's a rush. Like I'm really busy, so I'm just doing everything, you know, here and there. I mean, I don't even eat sitting down, which is really bad. I either eat on the way, like to and from appointments or where I need to be, deadlines, you know. I sort of never leave myself enough time. That's probably my fault. I jam-pack my day But doing healthier things helps me cope more, you know, with everything that I have to do.
Okay, on the flip side of that stress, I looked at the answers too, and you said you're only sleeping a small amount at night, which is a really low amount.
I go to bed late because I get home late, doing things that I have to do, like study. I've got my prac now because I'm in my final year of study. And also training as well. I make that a priority. So I actually can't sleep if I haven't gone and done some sort of exercise. But I'm used to it now. It's not really that big of a deal.
So do you find it hard winding down from your day? Or?
I actually don't wind down. People think that I'm a little bit crazy.
Looking at your answers on the app, you do have a very good diet and a good structure. So what would be your tips to people out there making those changes? Is it preparation?
It's 100%, yeah, it's preparation, but it's not wanting to do it for like a short period of time. I mean, I went in and out of phases where I would eat really healthy and then I'd go on a massive binge for like a few days straight. And then I'd just feel worse after I would do that. So from now on, I'm making decisions that aren't based on anyone else but me. Like I know that if I eat healthy during the week, I'm happy.
Looking at the social structures, how difficult is that when you're making a choice for your own goals and going out for people's birthdays or weddings or 21st or even the lunch?
If you're doing some sort of diet or you want to eat healthy for some period of time and you're doing it because you're worried about how people perceive you, like how you look, you're sort of not really doing it for the right reasons. I do it because I know that eating the right foods, I get the best out of my training, I get the best out of my days, I feel healthy and I know that I'm doing my body a favour. And don't get me wrong, it's hard going to birthdays, you know, and refusing that piece of cake that I would really love to eat. But I just think I'm doing myself like a huge favour, and it's those sort of moments where it either makes someone or it doesn't. So it's sort of the difference between being successful and not.
I feel your pain because I was at my nephew's 3rd birthday on the weekend. They had fairy bread out.
Yeah, I love fairy bread, but...
I know a lot of people when they talk about diets and stuff, they pre-package their food into a serving size so they can control their meals. Is that something you practice?
Every day. So I weigh everything, even my oats in the mornings to the amount of egg whites I have. Yep. I have kangaroo fish and chicken within all of my meals. So I weigh my meat, I weigh my rice. I don't weigh my salad or anything like that.
Does your diet change depending on what part of the year or a cycle that you're looking at?
So being a competitive female bodybuilder, I'm in off season now, but it's very important to still be eating the right foods in order for me to, you know, recover properly and repair muscle. So basically I'm on a lot of carbs, a lot of protein, but clean stuff. So I'm still not eating any sort of processed foods at all. I just have a really good protein source in everything I eat. And also I have salad and veggies with every meal that I eat.
So looking from a personal trainer's perspective, how much do you see of your clients understanding portion size and what they should be eating?
You know, 100% it comes down to knowing what to eat and what not to eat. So for instance, I had a client the other day and she was so confused as to why she wasn't losing weight. And I said, well, what are you eating? She's like, oh my, I'm just eating fruit. Like, that's all I'm eating. She was only eating fruit and, you know, she had no idea that, you know, the reason why we have the serving sizes, you know, in the dietary guidelines is because, you know, fruit's still got sugar in it. So if we're still eating, you know, more sugar than our body can process, even though it's natural sugar, it's still not going to be beneficial for weight loss and, you know, her goals that she wanted to achieve. So it was about educating her, and like I have one piece of fruit a day. So instead of snacking on a piece of fruit, I'd recommend snacking on vegetables instead. So carrot sticks, celery sticks. I mean, like I said, I have unlimited salad and vegetables. What's
an event look like? What's your lead in, and then how does an event look?
It's not too bad. I mean, I've got my diet and I know what I have to eat and what I shouldn't be eating. Basically, when you're in your off season, it's important that we don't go any further out of 10 kilos from our comp weight. But it's sort of hard to measure because now that I am training and eating more food, I am growing. So I probably will be heavier come my second season competing. that's something definitely with women that's a big problem, especially in terms of body image, from going to being so lean from a competition and then, you know, sort of going back to the normality of life. Yeah, it's huge trying to deal with the image that you sort of see. Yeah. But in terms of, I mean, sacrifice is a lot more different leading straight into the comp because it's a lot more discipline, a lot more hours spent doing cardio. And, you know, even everything, I'm still, you know, drinking about 4 to 5 litres of water a day, but we've got to increase that over time and then we decrease that. It's all sort of about playing with numbers. So, for instance, this year I competed in the INBA Sydney Championships. That was my first time competing. So that's basically everyone from New South Wales. I do a natural federation, which is good because it's all blood and urine tested. So I'm not going up against anyone that's using any sort of enhancers, which is good. And then I actually got placed first in that. So I qualified for the Nationals, City Nationals, which were in June, I think. And I was lucky enough to get third in that. I'm in off season now, so it's season B. Most people do compete in season A and B, but I just needed a little bit of a break.
So that break you're talking about, is that more mental?
100%, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. It just takes a big toll. I mean, even after, so long after, it was so hard to adjust from in that, you know, that comp state and then trying to just go back to normal living where even going out for a social event, you know, where I was able to have something that I haven't had in a while, like a piece of cake at a birthday party, and I'd sort of do head miles over it thinking, oh, I shouldn't be eating this, or maybe I should, or I've worked so hard. But you've just got to give yourself that break. I needed that break, and I know now that when I'm training and everything like that, I know that I'm going to go back into season A and kill it.
As an athlete, I know we used to peak for a race and it's easy to work when you've got that goal, but then it's hard to keep your motivation going afterwards or resetting your goals and having that platform. How do you go about setting your platforms and how does that transfer to every day?
Naturally, I've always been really competitive, so there's always going to be someone out there that's bigger and better than me. So obviously getting third in City Nationals was one of the best things ever because there's 2 people in front of me. So that just gives me the extra drive that I need to train harder and just work on little things, especially my lower body, which needs some work. So, you know, in my off season, that's the perfect time to put my head down and do the hard work and then hopefully, you know, get placed better next season. But every day I have little goals. Even every day I train, I try and push up my weights. You know, I always just want to get fitter and stronger.
Well, thanks for your time today, Rhiannon. Okay. Really appreciate it. And I'm sure the viewers at home would have got some insight out of that.
Cool, thank you.
So my dad grounded me. I haven't even been smoking that long. I know smoking is bad, but it can't be that bad because he smokes too.
Lillian, I'm home. Children learn from those they admire. What are you teaching them?
What are you doing? Where'd you get that from?
Quit for yourself, quit for your family, quit for life.
Now we have 3 types of breakfast that get you up and get you out the door nice and early. I know this young fella needs all the help he can in the mornings.
Using multigrain or wholemeal bread rather than white bread as it's higher in dietary fibre. Choose your 3 favourite fruits to chop up for this brekkie idea in a jar. Here we have a combination of oats, milk, yogurt and cocoa powder to satisfy that sweet tooth and keep it healthy. After you've done all your preparation for your breakfast, put it in the fridge for the following morning.
Are you smoking around that baby again? What's wrong with you? You should know better than that.
Your habit affects more people than just you. Quit for yourself, quit for family, quit for life.
You don't need to have a gym to work out. Here are some simple everyday activities to get you moving.
Try to park the car a fair distance from work or the shops, and that way you get to walk to and from there. Walk to the bus stop or train station and catch public transport to work. Get off one stop early and walk the rest of the way. Aim to cycle to work 1 or 2 days a week. When at work, set aside some time to stretch at your desk. When you need to talk to a colleague, don't use a phone or email. Get up from your desk and go and have a chat with them. Use at least half your lunch break for a brisk walk. All those little bits of 10 and 15 minutes do add up. When you're out and about, ignore the lifts in favour of the stairs, or take the stairs instead of the escalators. Kids are always full of energy, so try to make some time to have some active playtime with them. Try to walk the dog a little more often, or even just add an extra 10 minutes onto each walk.
Josh is one fit guy, but I can't see him doing anything around the house.
Okay, and is there anything else?
Yeah, I'll get a packet of my regular smokes too, please.
That's $23.20.
Well, I've only got $22.
$23.20.
How much does smoking really cost you? Quit for yourself, quit for family, quit for life.
So we had Sean catch up with Jacob again, just to see how his quit journey was going and give us an update on how his progress was.
I've recognised the difference between normal stress and nicotine stress. The nicotine stress is really is the one where I feel on edge. Normal stress is I don't feel as on edge as I am. So that's the real big key difference between those two. So the few strategies that I've had is, I've actually taken one from you, is a drink of water. So a couple of times where I've had the cravings, I've drank a cup of water and they've seemed to have gone away. So I haven't really stayed away from cigarettes. I've had at 2 from memory, and I was really disappointed in myself that I let myself have 2. The 2 slip-ups is when I was really on edge, and I felt like I needed that, and I gave in to the craving. But apart from that, all of it's been fine. If I keep smoking, I've calculated it to be around $5,500. So that's a real big, that really hit home to me. I could spend it on something that I want to do now, which is travel. So yeah, I visited my local doctor, and I asked him about Champix, and the reason why I asked him was because my brother actually quit smoking through Champix. So I went to ask him about Champix and see what I can do, and he said yep. He got me onto the Champix, and it's now been 2 weeks since I've had my last cigarette. So what I've really learnt over this past couple of weeks was that it's really up to you to quit and to really dig down and make that choice. I've learnt to put in a plan for yourself, to have a drink of water when you crave, to first thing you get up is to put that patch on and to put in a routine to really quit smoking. If I do stick to my guns and have quit, I'd encourage a person to really quit. I'd tell them it's easy. You can do it. Now I'm starting to breathe a lot better. I'm starting to get my breathing all right. I'd usually walk up a flight of stairs and feel puffed out. Now it's all fine. I've coughed up all the bad stuff in the chest area and stuff like that. So it's really made a big difference on my health. One of the things that I really want to do is to stick it out until the end of the year. Hopefully at the end of Christmas, and then into the new year, and then I'm thinking by then I have fully gotten over it, and I'm going to be smoke free.
I've been waiting for this for a long time. Henry puts Ben through some activities that breaks him.
Today Henry was kind enough to put us through a workout. The trick to his workout was a window of 30 minutes and trying to keep your heart rate as high as you can for that 30 minutes and adding some diversity into the exercises to make sure that we keep the heart rate as high as we can and limit our rest. So Henry started off with a little bit of cardio just to warm up the body because we're going to move to more high impact exercises which are harder on our joints. So the key for him was looking at using the exercise bike and rower to keep his heart rate as high as he can to warm up all his body, arms, shoulders, legs and abdomen and core muscles. Key for Henry was adding a bit of dynamic stretching, which is an easy way to improve your flexibility without overloading your muscles. So instead of doing static stretching where you hold a stretch, which can limit the amount of strength you have in that muscle, doing dynamic stretching increases your flexibility without having any negative effects. So with Henry's workout, he broke all the muscle groups up. So we started with the calves to isolate them and then worked onto the greater leg muscles in quads and hamstrings. Then we worked on the upper body doing dips to work the back of our arms and then chin-ups to do biceps and upper back exercise. With Henry, he's limited all the rest out of the exercises because he manages to pick opposite muscle groups. So when we've done triceps working the back of our arms, our recovery for that area is doing the chin-ups where we're working the front of our arms. This way we can get more exercises into a shorter period of time. So for everyone at home, what we're going to look at for these exercises to tailor them, basically what Henry's suggestion for workouts is looking at short exercises with high intensity. So if you're walking, try to find a set of stairs or a small hill to increase your heart rate. If you're going to do some of the strength circuits, try to do some leg exercises and then follow it with an arm exercise so that you can keep your heart rate as high as you can throughout the whole session. This way it gives us a lot more flexibility with our time. A 30-minute intense session is as good as a 60-minute slower session, which most people would be doing. When choosing exercises, always be mindful of your limits. Power exercises like the box jumps that we do at the end are a more technical exercise with a high risk of injury. It's not suggested for inexperienced people, but challenge yourself with safety. That's all we have time for today. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Eli, for joining me. Any more comments or future topics you'd like to see, comment below.
Check out our playlist and subscribe below.